and my respected speaker, Mr. Jayaprakash and Mr. Rao. First of all, congratulations on this auspicious occasion. 5 years ago, when you spoke to me about this, I sensed your passion and your dedication to the cause of widows and divorced women. And to me, I've come today with so much joy to see this take off. And it's a privilege for me to be standing here on this inaugural day. I wish you all the best. I'm a widow, but I'm lucky to be born into a family that made no discrimination between boys and girls. I have 2 brothers and 2 sisters. We have 5 siblings. And we were brought up, my father used to proudly say, I have 5 boys. We were brought up to think that we had all the freedom to make our choices in the world. We were given equal chances at education and to be able to do anything we wanted or to go anywhere we wanted. When I got married, my husband was also of the same mindset, and I brought up my children also on the same lines. It did not even occur to me to think that there was a difference between a boy and a girl. 10 years ago, he passed away, and I do not think that my status in society has changed. I continue to live my life on my own terms, to make my own choices. But I realize when I listen to stories from Jayaprakash and others, that I'm one of the privileged few to be able to do this. I think of my maid Lakshmi, who's been with me for over 20 years and is like a family member to me. She lost her husband 12 years ago. And I went for her functions and I watched in horror as her bangles were broken, her bindi was wiped off, and she was told that she could only wear white. And I was sitting next to her and she whispered to me, how can I go and work wearing white? It will get dirty so soon. I'm going to give it 2 months and then I'm going to wear color. So I told her, you should not even give it 2 months. You should start wearing color from tomorrow. But I know that she has lost her status in her community. And 12 years later, 2 months ago when my daughter got married and I gave her a bindi to wear, she said, no, I'm a widow, I cannot wear a bindi. Some of these practices are ingrained in us. I think of a friend's aunt from a very well-to-do family who's not invited to any family functions because it is considered unlucky to have a widow present. So this is a mentality that seems to prevail across all sections of society. Traditionally, widows are looked down upon and considered a financial burden. They are not allowed to remarry. We have heard Jayaprakash narrate to us all the different travails that a woman has to go through. Our last census tells us that there are more than 1.5 lakh widows in India between the ages of 10 and 15, and an equal number of 1.5 lakh widows in the age group 15 to 19. There is no count of the widows below the age of 9. It is a terrible thing that we see and read about every day. And I ask myself, where does respect begin? Because if we want respect for widows, then it has to begin with a girl child. Wouldn't you agree with me?
Yes.
So while we cannot all, I know that today being auspicious Women's International Widows Day, the widows of Vrindavan, I read, have made a petition to our Prime Minister Modi that he should pass the Widows Protection Bill take it up in Parliament in this session itself. Coincidentally, in the United States, President Obama has presented the Violence Against Women bill to be passed. Across the world, empowerment of women is still in its early stages, isn't it? Our Millennium Development Goals talk about empowerment and livelihood for women. And both at the central and state level, there are many schemes being rolled out. But there's so much still to do. How can each one of us help? That's the thought I had in the last 3 weeks since Jayaprakash talked to me. And I kept asking myself, what is the message that I'm going to give today? And I realized that unless I make it relevant, this is just going to be a speech. So I want to challenge each one of you. What are you going to do to make a difference? And as I thought about it, more and more what comes to my mind is that we have to eradicate in our own structure of our families the practices that discriminate a girl and a boy child. So every time there is a bigger celebration being planned for a boy child versus a girl child, we are perpetuating the same mentality without even thinking about it. Every time we have bigger birthday parties for the boy than the girl, we are perpetuating the same mentality. Every time we seek better health care for a boy over a girl, we are doing the same thing. Every time we send a boy to a better school and the girl to a poorer school or a lesser school, we are perpetuating the same mentality. Every time we sit at table and the best pieces of food are given to the boy and not to the girl, we are perpetuating the same mentality. I want each one of us to look deep into our hearts and into our families and see where is it that we can begin to make this change, so that every girl and every boy grows up believing that they are equal. Isn't that a good way to start? Because when respect starts with a girl child, then there will automatically be respect for the widows. Because a widow is just another woman who's lost her husband. Or a divorced woman is just another woman who's again lost her husband. Why should they be treated any differently? It's because of this mentality that we grow up with, both in the minds of girls and in the minds of boys, that girls are inferior to men. Let's begin to change that within our own families. And that's been my thought the last 3 weeks. But I also want to highlight, before I finish, a growing debate that I find very interesting, which is this whole aspect of describing a woman as a mother, as a wife, as a daughter, as a sister. Why should women be defined in terms of their roles? Every time I hear that sentence, I cringe. Because to me, that is not defining the woman, it is defining the role of the woman. And if you look at it, that role is in relation to a man, isn't it? She's the daughter of somebody, or the wife of somebody, or the mother of somebody. We are not defined as women by our roles. We are defined as human beings. We are persons. We have our own Farhad Akhtar, who made the same statement when he started his initiative, Mart. Wonderful initiative. But what did he say? I have his quote down here. He said, every time I look into the mirror, I want to see a man whose mother, sister, wife, and daughter are proud to call their own. What about the women who are not wives? What about the women who are not daughters? What about the women who are not mothers? Shouldn't they be respected and loved, honored, cared for? You have President Obama in the United States making the same sentence. When he presented the Violence Against Women Domestic Act, he said the same thing. Our mothers, our wives, our daughters should be safe. What about other women? Let us not define women in terms of their role. Let us respect, honor, cherish, value women because they are persons. And it is a right of everyone to have that. Thank you.